Entire cities housing over 1 million Soviet citizens did not exist on any public map until the late 1980s. These administrative units were officially known as Closed Administrative Territorial Formations, which served as the specialized backbone of the nuclear industrial complex. Secret locations used the name of the nearest major city, followed by a number representing the distance in kilometers, or a postal code. Double perimeter fences with motion sensors and armed guards strictly controlled every point of entry and exit for residents and visitors alike. Residents enjoyed high-quality housing and access to rare consumer goods unavailable in the rest of the Soviet Union to ensure loyalty. The Committee for State Security monitored all correspondence and telephone calls, while residents were legally forbidden from disclosing their exact location to outsiders. Elite scientists were hand-picked from top universities and required to sign lifelong non-disclosure agreements before entering these high-security zones. Sarov, renamed Arzamas 16, became the Soviet equivalent of Los Alamos, where the first atomic bomb and hydrogen bomb were designed and tested. On August 29, 1949, the RDS-1 device was detonated at the Semipalatinsk test site, ending the American nuclear monopoly. The Mayak chemical combine in Chelyabinsk 40 focused on large-scale plutonium synthesis using graphite-moderated reactors built with extreme haste. High-level liquid waste was initially dumped directly into the Techa River and Lake Karachay, creating one of the most polluted spots on Earth. A cooling system failure in 1957 caused a chemical explosion in a waste tank, releasing 80 tons of highly radioactive material. The resulting East Urals radioactive trace contaminated 20,000 square kilometers, forcing the secret evacuation of dozens of rural Soviet villages. Tomsk 7, known today as Seversk, operated a massive chemical combine for uranium enrichment and the production of weapons-grade nuclear fuel. Krasnoyarsk 26 featured an entire nuclear reactor and plutonium processing plant built deep inside a mountain to survive a direct nuclear strike. The underground reactors used water from the Yenisei River for cooling, which returned slightly irradiated water back into the Siberian environment for decades. Chelyabinsk 70, or Snezhinsk, was established as a second design center to foster internal competition and ensure redundant nuclear weapon development capabilities. Scientists like Andrei Sakharov developed the third idea at these sites, using radiation implosion to achieve megaton-scale yields for thermonuclear weapons. The 50-megaton Tsar Bomba, the most powerful weapon ever detonated, was engineered within the closed labs of the Soviet nuclear program. Facilities like Sverdlovsk 44 pioneered advanced gaseous diffusion and later centrifuge technologies to isolate fissile isotopes from natural uranium ore. Zlatust 36 and Trek Gorny specialized in the precision assembly of tactical and strategic nuclear warheads for the Soviet strategic rocket forces. Dedicated rail lines and unmarked trains transported nuclear materials between ZATOs, avoiding public hubs to maintain the secrecy of the supply chain. Internal Soviet passports for ZATO residents contained special codes that allowed them through checkpoints but restricted their ability to travel abroad freely. Schools within secret cities provided specialized curricula focused on physics and chemistry, producing a self-sustaining cycle of highly trained nuclear technicians. The city of Kurchatov, or Semipalatinsk 21, managed over 450 nuclear tests, including atmospheric and underground detonations, until 1991. Following the dissolution of the Soviet Union, the closed cities faced severe funding shortages and the risk of scientific brain drain to other nations. The Russian Federation passed a formal law in 1992, officially recognizing the ZATO status and providing a legal basis for continued closure. Cities finally received their historical or new names, so Arzamas 16 became Serov and Chelyabinsk 65 became the city of Ozersk. Today, the state corporation Rosatom manages the majority of these cities, overseeing nuclear fuel production and the dismantling of retired weapon systems. Access for foreign nationals remains strictly limited and requires months of background checks by the Federal Security Service and Rosatom officials.
Many closed cities are now attempting to diversify their economies by developing civilian technologies like medical isotopes and advanced carbon fibers. Extensive cleanup projects are underway at sites like Mayak to contain radioactive sediments and prevent further contamination of the Arctic watershed. Russian closed cities still provide a significant percentage of the low-enriched uranium used by nuclear power plants across Europe and North America. Unlike many other post-Soviet industrial centers, the population of ZATOs has remained relatively stable due to guaranteed employment and modern amenities. Not all ZATOs are nuclear labs like Chelyabinsk, which serves as a secret base for the Pacific Fleet nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines. Bolshoi Kamen in the Russian Far East provides the infrastructure for repairing and refueling the nuclear propulsion systems of the entire naval fleet.
Mirny is the closed city supporting the Plesetsk Cosmodrome, where military satellites are launched into polar orbits using Soyuz and Angara rockets. Physical walls are now supplemented by air-gapped computer networks and strict digital monitoring to protect classified nuclear weapon design data. Russia cooperates with the International Atomic Energy Agency on civilian nuclear safety while maintaining total sovereign control over the military ZATO sectors. Closed cities like Krasnokamensk, near the Chinese border, operate the largest uranium mines in Russia, providing raw material for the entire complex. For many residents, the closure is seen as a badge of honor and a guarantee of safety in a world that remains geopolitically volatile. The technological breakthroughs achieved in these cities drove the space race and the development of the global nuclear power industry we see today.
As of 2026, the ZATO system remains a critical pillar of Russian national security, maintaining the largest nuclear arsenal in existence. Secrecy in the nuclear program was not just a military tactic, but a comprehensive social and administrative system that persists into the modern era. Understanding the operation of these secret cities is essential for analyzing global nuclear stability and the evolution of 20th-century industrial socialism.